Google Ads conversions. It's a little mysterious, isn't it? Right? Because you have GTM, Google Tag Manager, you have Google Analytics, and then you have Google API. Google API connects Google Ads directly to Pagaya or Kajabi or to Shopify. I tend to use Google Analytics and GTM together. I absolutely love GTM's preview mode. It really helps in terms of checking. Google Analytics has its debug mode and several other checking mechanisms, but you really should use GTM. And that's exactly what it is, a Google Tag Manager. It has its own preview mode and it does quite well. Even simple stuff or even more complex stuff like transactional data information to make sure you're checking that. It's all in there in regards to I believe the data layer variable portion of GTM. But you should always check with your dev, check with your client, see what's already set up, and then make the adjustments accordingly. So where do we start? Let's start with Google Ads. That's because that's where that's where all the information gets funneled to. That's where you make decisions, and that's where you kind of set up your campaign architecture. So it all starts with that wrench at the top with Google Ads, right? And from there you look under measurement. After measurement, you click conversions, and then you're taken to this window when you're setting up your first conversions. You have website, app, phone calls, and then you have import. So with website, you have ATC IC, which is add to cart, initiate checkout. You have purchase. You have submit emails. You also have your lead magnet, such as download ebooks or to watch a video or something. That's all lead magnet stuff. And then you have clickouts. With app, that is in-app actions such as, like I said, downloads, viewing, purchases, etc. Make sure you have Firebase installed. That's what's needed with Google. And then you have phone calls. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then you have import, which is importing from your CRM data, such as HubSpot or your POS system, or even offline conversions. That's how that's funneled back. So, such as like if you did a phone call and then you got a conversion value from it, that gets all fed back via the import option. So from here, in terms of setting up, you go to this screen here, which is the where you actually develop the actual name of the conversion, the the actual value of the conversion, and that's like where you do counts. If you wanted to count as one, or you wanted to count as with a data variable, a transactional data variable, or if you want nothing to be tracked, like you get zero, which is dumb. So then you have count, and then you have your conversion attribution methods here. So you have your click through, right? Which that's when you click. You have engage view, which is under, like, say if it's like 5 seconds or 10 seconds and they convert, that's an engage view, versus a view through conversion, which is up to 30 seconds. And then you have the time frame. Usually for conversion windows, it's or the attribution window. I tend to, my rule of thumb is the more expensive it is, the more time you need. Something that's like $50 or under, you really don't need that much time, right? If you're selling sunglasses, movie tickets, stuff like that, you really don't, there shouldn't be that much of a delay. But so that's kind of how I view it. So just use your best judgment there. In terms of what to choose if you're using especially if you're using a purchase conversion for that. So from here, we're actually going to go straight into Google Tag Manager. And I love this part. So there's 4 options here. You have the conversion linker tag, right? And that's for a link out. And so for all intents and purposes here, this is when somebody lands on your page, say it's a movie page, and they want to click out and see get the iTunes, to buy iTunes or to buy Amazon. You need the conversion linker tag to link out. That's why it's called the linker tag. So you affix the you put the URL that you want to track, and that counts as one. And that's a fire. Then you have the Facebook tag. Here, I don't like to assign triggers in GTM for Facebook because the best practices is CAPI plus the Facebook pixel itself. That's the best That's the best practice from Facebook, not the assigning it through Google. You can. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying that that's the best practice. So I just like to follow it because I am Blueprint certified. So I'm kind of like very narrow on that. I just like to have it there and just have it and be able to just fix a pixel through Facebook Pixel Helper as opposed to linking it in whatchamacallit in GTM. And we're going to show you that when I actually test fire this, or when I show the test fire. Then we have GA4 event. That's right, because it's a special event. You need a special tag from GA4, and that's and you basically fix it there through the trigger. And then you have the GA4 tag that's there, and then you have the Google Ads conversion tag. So the Google Ads conversion tag is for, of course, going back to Google Ads, and that's where the trigger initiates a fire. Very simple. And then from here, right, when you test this guy in GTM, it'll look something like this. So it'll look like, or it will look like this. So you have your, as I said, you have your GA4 tag, you have your, or the Google Ads tag, sorry, that has a GA4 affixed to it. And then you have the Google Ads conversion tag, which is Google Ads. And then you have the conversion linker tag that I was talking about. And then you have the GA4 event tag. Now, how are you checking all this, right? Well, if you, for double fires, well, if it said double, if it was double firing, if there was something weird going on, it would say fire 2 times. So the fact that it says succeeded is very good. That means it's just firing 1 time. That's good. And then when you track it in GA4, like I like to track these all in GA4, and it's quite simple. This is actually very simple. It's nothing hard. You just check the, you just check to see what was done, I believe, in the event screen. And then, there we go. Sorry, for some reason it went to the top. And this is what it looks like. That's all. Very simple. And then this is what it would look in debug. So for GA4, when you check this as well, make sure you check this and it's not double firing, because this is exactly what double firing looks like, and it's all over the place. So check both. Check GTM, then check GA4. And then the debugging mode's in the admin screen, I believe under display, I think, if I'm right. I know it's in admin somewhere. And then pixel preview mode, or GTM preview mode, is very easy to see and do. This is what GA4 looks like when you set it up. This is the add card. So as you can tell, it's clicked there, goes to the top right in terms of configuration, and then the actual event is recorded. Very simple. And a lot of GA4 is predefined, which is even cooler because you really don't have to set, a lot of it just sets up on its own, which is very cool. It's only the special event stuff that needs to be tracked. And then, let's see here, additional tips. Oh yeah, this is cool. Make sure you're using enhanced conversions, right? Because 2024 is the year Google will deprecate third-party cookies. Do we have to be worried about Google Click IDs? No, I don't think so. But I think with enhanced conversions, I think it's just another way to make sure that those are working and all the user ID information is being passed back because of inter-browser connectivity issues, because of Wi-Fi. That's where a lot of the issues come from. So say you're at like a Starbucks and you're shopping on your phone, and whatever, you somehow get recorded, and then you go home and you buy on your desktop. Well, that's interconnectivity, right? And so that means that somehow, if you don't have conversions hooked up, a lot of times that is broken. So when you buy, it's almost like you just bought that instant in Google's mind if that enhanced conversion is not hooked up. Now, why did I say earlier that cookies is not a big issue with Google? Well, they're deprecating cookies, guys. So you have to think, would they really affect the Google Click ID for their own product and make everybody mad? No, right? I mean, it's dumb to think that, but enhanced conversions, just like CAPI, is a best practice and it should be implemented. CAPI has really been helpful with Facebook, right? If it wasn't for CAPI, a lot of the iOS 14.5 stuff that went down wouldn't be fixed by, or not fixed, but in a better spot than it is now. I'm not saying it's a perfect solution, but it's helped, right? And there's no lie about that. Same thing with Google Ads. I mean, especially the Cold War going on right now between Apple and Google, a lot of the browser stuff just disconnects, right? So you have to, that's where enhanced conversions comes in. Will it be the cookie thing? I don't know. I really don't think so. That's a click ID, right? So you have to make sure your Google Click ID is in good standing, and the way you do that is through enhanced conversions. So make sure that is done. I cannot say that enough. And then, oh yeah, so one thing I want to show you. Oh, this is really quick. So this is how you check it in terms of enhanced conversions. It passes back the billing information. This is how so in the data layer values section in GTM, that's how you check to see if the user ID is being passed back in terms of like their information, because that's what enhanced conversion is, right? It's passing their data back so you can match them accordingly via the click ID between both platforms. When I say both platforms, I mean the site and then what Google says. So, and it's being recorded, right? It's being attributed. It hasn't been disconnected. Then you have, so when you set it up, you actually set it up as a variable, which is under tags in GTM, and then you create the transactional variable, and then you assign it to that tag accordingly, and then that's how it works. And that's like that's a very high view. I know that it went very fast. It's like, well, wait a minute. What do I do here? I mean, I just want, like I said, I wanted to make sure it's more of an overview. I don't want to do analysis by paralysis, but I just want to give a brief overview of how it looks, and that's exactly how. And then, yeah, you can link this to the tag, to the variable, to GTM, and you should be good to go. But like I said, make sure your Google enhanced conversions is in place. Like that's a huge thing with 2024. Actually, it should have been done a year ago or even 2 years ago. So if you haven't done it yet, please do that. And like I said, I've seen in firsthand results with Facebook what CAPI has done. It's really saved their platform. So I can't recommend it enough. And I think more or less that's it. So what I want to say is you can follow us on our podcast. Our podcast is on Apple Podcasts, as well as Amazon and Podbean, and all sorts of other platforms, as well as YouTube, of course, where you're seeing this. Check those out. And then the reason why I'm using Medium is because I do want you guys to check out the article on Medium. It's the Medium articles are awesome. They have a lot of how-to, especially everything from match case to RSA ads, all sorts of cool stuff. So definitely check those out. So I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. And I look forward to you viewing more of my content. Thank you.